What's up, sisters? Listen, we live. Oh my goodness, I am so pumped about today. I am pumped about the next 8 weeks. I am pumped. Okay, can you tell? I don't know if you can tell, but listen, we're gonna hop right into it. Okay, welcome to Sistah's Let's Talk Biz Live, okay? The show where we give Black women founders the real talk, the strategies, and the support, okay? Strategies and support to build, scale, and secure the bag. Ladies and ladies and ladies, and there may be some gentlemen on here too. I am your host, Kandice Porter. I'm your SistahBiz Community Engagement Host, and I am so glad that you are here with me today. Oh my goodness, it is going to be such a fantastic episode. This season, we are not cutting any corners. We're going straight at it. We are going straight to it with the Black Women Founders Roadmap to Surviving 2025. Now, let me just take a sip of my water real quick. We already know what we're up against, ladies. We know that we have someone in office that doesn't necessarily favor those who look like you and I, right? So we are going to kick off this season with equipping you with how to survive 2025, listen, and beyond, because we know that we have about we got 4 years of this, right? So we are coming in, we are going to provide resources and support on how to stay ready, resilient, and profitable. It's so good. It sounds so good to say, and it feels so good coming off of my lips. Okay. So, ladies, we're going to break down over the next 8 weeks. We're going to break down policies, financial shifts, and business strategies that will keep you ahead of the game. All right. We're staying ahead of the game. All right. We're not going to get lost in the weeds like the rest of the people. So, can we take care of a little bit of housekeeping? Can we just do a little bit of a housekeeping? Okay. Now, here's what we're going to do. If you have not already subscribed to the YouTube channel, you want to make sure you do that, okay? There is so much good content on our YouTube channel for SistahBiz, and we don't want you to miss out on any of it. Not only that, you'll be notified when we go live every single Tuesday at 10 o'clock Mountain Standard Time. You don't want to miss that either. If you happen to get here not by way of our Facebook group, we want you to join our community. So go into our Facebook group. We have a poppin' Facebook group. And when I say poppin', it's poppin', okay? Tons of good content, support, strategies. Listen, it's literally all the things. And did I mention the powerhouse sisters that are in the community in the Facebook group? All right, listen, it's just a good time, and we don't want you to miss out on all these goodies because we are at a time and a place right now where we simply need one another, okay? We have a little special surprise at the end. In January, we had a little bit of a competition that we were doing with our landing page sprint, and we have a winner, and I cannot wait to introduce her and announce her at the end of this this episode. So please stay tuned. Don't go anywhere because we are in here. Ladies, really quick before I bring on my guest, the founder of SistahBiz, I want to let you know that the chat is open. We want to see you in the comment section. We want to see you making some noise. We want to see you engaging, asking questions, adding your input. That is what we are doing, ladies. So make sure that you get in that chat section. And as a matter of fact, in order for me to bring in my guest to this virtual stage, I would love for you to put some clapping emojis in the comment section to help me welcome our girl, our fearless leader, who's going to take us from glory to glory, my girl, Coach K is in the building. I'm going to go ahead and bring her to the stage. Can I get some clapping emojis in the comment section? Coach K.
Hey, hey
Hey.
y'all.
Listen, how you doing? How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. Don't we got the hostess with the mostest, y'all? Yes, we do. Yes, we do. It's good to
Ow,
see you.
ow, ow. And that's how we roll because, while we're getting this, while we're having some serious conversations, we got to always infuse a
Joy.
little lightness, a little joy because we need a little joy, right?
Listen, the world didn't give it to me. The world
Hey,
take it away.
you better not get on here and preach this morning, okay? But I know you're going to anyway. So, Coach K, listen, we are coming off of the heels of the Super Bowl, and I am just hearing so much. Now, first things first, are you a Super Bowl girly? Did you even get into the Super Bowl?
Girl, I don't know nothing about sports. Let me tell you
Same.
the two times when I think about sports. So in general, if there's a good business analogy, I'll take it.
Okay.
When it comes to sports, my son played ball in college and in school, and so I went to his games. And then for the Super Bowl, if somebody's good for the halftime show coming on, then I'll watch it then. But other than that, like I'm a halftime show girl.
Me too. I am too. But this year was a little different for me because I am not a Kendrick Lamar girl, right? I am not very familiar. I know, and I really hope that my black card doesn't get revoked for this. Like
I'm gonna try not to report it. I might be
okay,
able
don't
to
report it.
behind the scenes. Okay, all right. I won't
Don't,
report.
please don't report it. Just let me live just a little bit, okay? Like, okay, so I am not a Kendrick Lamar girl, but as the halftime show went on, I was like, hold on, he talking something, and hold on, what's going on the stage? And hold on, okay? So I just want to discuss this just a little bit because I want to make some parallels, Coach K. The people are all up in arms on social media. They mad, they happy, they mad. They're like, man, Kendrick Lamar killed it, and there was so much symbolism, and it was for the culture. And then people are like, man, that wasn't no halftime show. We wanted to see some 504. We want to see the Know Ya Boys. Like they're up in arms. But here's what I realized: Kendrick Lamar, in the face of some really prominent people, had to just authentically be him, right? He had to show up in his authenticity and just kind of go against the grain and above the norms anyway, right? And that brought me into some thinking about what's going on with the DEI and Target and all of this. And I really thought about how, in the face of all the things that's going on, right? Some of even our Black female founders have to still stand up and be authentic to who they are and be true and really make some, hard decisions and really show up in the face of those who are like, I don't think so. So I just kind of want to get your take on this. Like, this is what we're currently going through in real time. So can you just talk to me a little bit about this and how, yeah.
Yeah, I saw some of the back and forth about Kendrick's performance, and I think that a lot of people who said that they didn't like it, one of the major complaints I saw was that the show wasn't mainstream.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's exactly the point. Y'all gonna
Mm.
stop leaving us out of the mainstream story. And so when we get a stage, we taking it.
Come
And we
on.
let you know that we are a part of the American story. And
Mm.
y'all was the ones who brought us here in the first place. So now y'all gonna deal with it. We didn't built everything up and we gonna talk about it. We didn't been oppressed and we gonna let you know. We
Mm.
taking our stuff back and we letting you know. So I'm absolutely proud. And if you didn't rewind that show 2, 3 times to try to catch all the pieces, then you missed it. And I feel bad for you.
Coach.
However, I will
Mhm.
say, I do want to say, in terms of your question as it relates to Black women entrepreneurs, because that's who we're talking to today, it is a thing where you have to, in your career, often choose, like, am I going to be bold in this moment and use my platform and my power to say controversial things that may piss some people off? But I do it because I'm standing on the shoulders of my courageous elders, and ancestors who did it before me. And because they did it, I am here and I'm able to do what I'm able to do today. And so now it's my turn. And so I think every day it's not just a Super Bowl decision or place where that happens. I think Black business owners, Black women business owners are in office rooms, boardrooms, client meetings, speaking on stages every day where they have the decision and sometimes the burden, sometimes that Black tax or that invisible labor where they have to choose if and sometimes be guided spiritually to make the decision to say something courageous, controversial that might cost them a contract or cost them a client or cost them a job, but it's going to open the pathway for the people behind them and it's going to be the right thing to do. And so then they decide that they have to do it. We have to make those choices as business owners every day. Even just because we're entrepreneurs doesn't mean we're not faced with racism and with these challenges every day.
That's right. And Makisha, while you were saying that, you came into my head, right? You have stood and walked that path. This is the path that you have taken with SistahBiz and in your own entrepreneurial journey. You have had to stand in those spaces and stand flat-footed and say, no, this is my truth. This is what we gonna do. I don't care if you like it or not. So are you and Kendrick Lamar cousins or no?
Listen, we all cousins, and absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. That's my god brother. That's my cousin. That's my.
Listen, I mean, even though he is from Compton and you all the way from New York, it's cool. It's cool.
That's my West Coast brother, and he was doing exactly. He was living them values. He was speaking his truth. He was being authentic, and we're all trying to find ways to be that in an America that doesn't want us to be that. And so he modeled for us what we should do. And it's also like everybody can't do it all the time. Like you have to make strategic decisions. Like I think it's very strategic that if you use Beyonce, some of y'all may hate her, some of y'all may love her, but that's not what this is about. If you use Beyonce as an example, she was pretty mainstream in the beginning of her career. And as her power increased, so did her voice around speaking out about controversial issues and putting resources towards social justice. And so I think it also depends on where you are in your career. Everybody has to make the decisions for when and how they'll show up in service of social justice and in the service of moving our people forward. And I just think he did a really good job at using the perfect moment that, for all we know, will never happen again.
That's right, Coach K. I just want to get into the comments real quick. Naomi said, I didn't watch it live, but I rewatched it so many times last night. And doing what's right is not always going to be easy, but I choose right at all times. And I absolutely agree, because if we don't, then what are we doing? Like, we're just going to fall and just stand for nothing, honestly. So Home and Sanctuary, Khadijah said, we all cousins. I absolutely agree. We are all cousins. So before we segue into our next part, Coach K, is there like one, I know that you've said some things about the Super Bowl, but if it was one takeaway, like one of your big, like, whoa, this is really happening on the main stage in front of our president, what was that for you? What was that in that part in his halftime performance?
I don't know if I had a takeaway, but I had a moment of gratitude. I mean, I'm sure I had takeaways, but what stands out for me is my moment of gratitude, because right now I feel the world is so crazy, and the president and his administration are circulating content and information that really has us all in a chaotic, anxious space. And a lot of Black people right now are feeling powerless, and like our power is being taken, and scared and anxious and mad and angry and not grounded. And I think that performance made us remember who we are. Yes. It gave us a moment to remember how powerful we are. It gave us a moment to remember that we do have an entire community that can fight back together, and that this, it felt like a moment of power and joy and celebration and activism that we could all just be fueled by when we're being so drained right now by everything that's said and everything that's going on.
Absolutely, Coach K. Ooh, you couldn't have said it best. Nourish and Shine. I'm not exactly sure who that is, but Nourish and Shine said gratitude. Yes, he said right time, wrong guy, and
Yes, he
proceeded
did.
to cut up on the main stage. Right guy, wrong time. Okay, I'm sorry. Right time, wrong guy. Excuse me. So I agree. I loved how blacked out it was. I love that there wasn't a white person in sight on stage. I think they were all in the crew section. So I loved that it was so blacked out. And what you said, Coach K, we are at a time where it's just hard pressed. Like we're really hard pressed right now, especially those who look like you and I. We're
Yeah.
feeling the pressures of the time and the season. We're feeling the pressures in our business. And so I am really glad and grateful for spaces where people are coming together and saying, you want to know what? It's time for us to come together as a community and link arms and see how we're really going to navigate this time and this season, Coach K. And you were one of those founders that said, oh no, my community needs me, and my community needs to hear some ways that we're going to be able to get through this time, not individually, but together. And so that is what we are going to do, ladies. We are going to talk through some strategies and some tips, and I wouldn't even say tricks because we ain't getting tricked into nothing. We are talking about some real ways that we are going to be able to not only come out of 2025 strong, but victorious, that we are thriving through this time. And together, we're really going to build and scale and make our businesses profitable. So, Coach K, you ready to jump into this thing?
I'm so ready. I'm ready.
I know you are. So, first things first, okay? We know that you've been working on the front lines with Black women founders and coaching them through the highs and the lows, all right? Sometimes it seems like it's more highs than lows. So, what's the biggest thing Black women entrepreneurs need to be preparing for right now in 2025 in this current administration?
So I think that first and foremost, there's a lot coming at us. There's a lot of change coming down the pipeline. Um, Full on attacks on our legacy in this country, our presence in this country, um, the the solutions and the victories that our elders and ancestors spent their whole lives working to secure just to get us a step ahead. All those things are under attack and being dismantled right now, and it can be overwhelming. And then he's so full of nonsense, just saying crazy stuff all the
Yeah.
time, just craziness. And then there's everybody respond to him, and so everything's so crazy. And so I'm saying this because I think it's important for us to not be reactive but be responsive. And so I think my first advice is get yourself grounded. Do grounding activities and grounding exercises. It's why the one episode is coming up with Khadijah Taylor and Kim Fuller and Tovi
Yeah.
with Sacred Pause. We are inviting them in because that's our point of power. That's where we find our strength. That's where we feel up for the fight. When you get grounded, when you get level-headed, when you get self-regulated, when you are not in any way, shape, or form movable. I don't know if any of y'all have ever seen the movie The Last Dragon. First of all, if you have not, that's a problem. But if you've seen it, and maybe it's been a long time, let me just remind you that at the end of the movie, Bruce Leroy, at the end of the movie, he was getting towed up by Sho'nuff until he got his glow. And when he got his glow, he was just in his zone. And no matter what was coming his way, it could not destroy him. It could not break him. It could not. And I just want I want our women to get in their zone. Everybody has their thing that they do, they tap into to get power, whether it's prayer, meditation, yoga, grounding, fasting. You know, in the Bible, it says this kind requires fasting and prayer. You know, when it's coming like that, yes. And you know, our ancestral work, all the things that make us stronger, that are a part of who we are, our sacred women healing rituals, the things we do, the baths we take, the oils we wear, the music we listen to, like guarding what sound comes in, guarding what kind of materials you choose to put on your body. Queen of Four, she's a holistic nutritionist, and she always tells us, her cohort, she always says, we are the women. We are the women. We are the healers. And
Yes.
so, like, finding that in yourself, finding your healing regimen and your power, and getting centered, because when you do, you're going to have that yellow glow, and you're not going to be bothered by show enough Trump. And you're going to know that he can't take anything that he didn't give to you, and he can't take any blessing that is set for you. And so I think I have to start there. I know we talking business, but that's business.
That's right.
That's standing on business when you start from a place of power and groundedness. So just being really dedicated, whether you journal or you do mud packs, or you fast, or you read your Bible, or you're in scripture, or you go to Bible study, surrounding yourself by people who are doing this grounded work, keeping yourself in high vibration, that stuff's important. And so that's why I'm excited about the episode where Kandice is going to talk about creating a space where you can do that, physical space in your home, in your office, where you can do that. Toby's going to talk about the activities you can do in terms of meditation and silencing yourself and pausing. In that pause is where you get fuel. In that pause is where you tap into your superpower, and you can handle anything. We've been here. They've been trying to eliminate us for how long? We ain't going nowhere. So that's the first thing. The second thing is it relates to your business. Once you get there, then you're moving from a space of self-regulation and not fear and anxiety. Then I think it's important to really start looking at the business and doing some assessment of, like, how can first educating yourself on the policies, and not the crazy arguments that are happening right now, but actually read the executive order. If that's not your language, pop it into ChatGPT and ask it to break it down for you, for the things that will most impact Black women-owned micro businesses, and really start to think about the impacts that could be coming your way. And read the executive order. AOC has a YouTube channel where she breaks it down for the everyday person, what's happening and what the changes are that are coming down the pipeline. And Jasmine Crockett has really been vocal about things too. But I want you to not be eating the crazy news for breakfast. I want you to really get grounded, and then just only taking the information that you need in order to move, to know how to move for your next step. Assessing the business, your cash flow, get your cash flow together, really look at how your supply chain works, especially from our product-based businesses. So from our product-based businesses, you want to really think about your vendors and where they're getting their supplies from, and how tariffs and things might impact pricing. We're going to talk about that in a whole nother section. We want to look at, for our service-based businesses, how is this DEI stuff going to impact government contracting? Do you have some contracts on the line that you might lose? Or if you have corporate sponsorships, do you have to plan around that? Are you doing the rounds, talking to your funders and your stakeholders so you can stay in touch and see where they are, and start planning alternative strategies for cash flow and for contracts and deals? Those sorts of things we're going to talk about in the 8 sessions. We're going to go deeper in the 8 sessions. We're going to talk through the specifics of the executive orders that we see coming down, some of which are like, the courts are like, get out of here with that. And that's what I'm saying. Like, he's putting on a real good, nice show in Q1. I'm waiting to see where we're at, because you can only do the Oz thing, but for so long before they pull the curtain back and see you some little white dude from Kansas.
And don't just sit back and just say, and that's all, and that's it, and that's all. You're right, Coach K. I love the breakdown. I love it. And everybody is in here in the chat. They're saying, yes, Last Dragon affirmations, absolutely. Come on, fasting and prayer. This we hear. And I absolutely agree. Coach K, there was so many good takeaways. And when you said, don't eat the news for breakfast, like, don't eat that trash for breakfast, I know that there are so many of us, because we want to know what's going on, and we're taking in the wrong information. I love that you said filter it, get it at a way that you understand it, because that's me. I'm not a politic girly. So it would be really beneficial for me to say, hey, let me break this thing down, because all of that leads to overwhelm, right? We're getting overwhelmed with so much. And now we feel like we have to play the defense, like, oh, like no. I want you, Coach K, to let us know, how can we get from playing, because the Philadelphia Eagles played a mean defense on Sunday, I believe. Okay. That's what the people are saying. But how do we move from being in defense to going into offense this year? Can you give us a little bit of insight on how to do that?
Yeah, I think that's important. And so I think it's important to remember that it's not his game, it's yours.
Mm.
You have a vision for your business. You
Mm.
have a plan. You have goals. You have something that you're supposed to be building, and you operate from that space. And everything else that's coming at you, that they're on defense, because you're going to get that. And
Mhm.
so if you operate from that standpoint, what I mean by that is, like, keep your eye on that. And what you focus on grows. So if you're
Mm.
focused on the enemy, if you're focused on the attack, if you're focused, that just becomes a bigger part of your world. I want you to focus on what you're trying to build. Find
Mm.
creative energy and let that take over. Keep building what you said you were going to build, and also plan, accordingly for risk and unexpected things. But definitely operate from the place of, I said I was going to bring in this amount of money. I said I was going to get this amount of clients. Even if I can't get this from this source, okay, what's next? Like, I always feel like, I always try to say, I don't really want to hear it can't be done. I
Mm.
want to hear, okay, that won't happen in that way. So then in what way can it be done? How can
Yes.
we do it if we can't do it this way? And so just have that mindset with your business, and be ready to pivot, be ready to do some things differently with the products you offer, or the clientele you're working with, or the places where sources where you go for funding. Just be ready to pivot. If you can get your mind right around that, then you're operating from offense, because at the top of your mind is, I've already got my North Star, and I'm not
Mm.
letting anybody change that. I just might have to change my moves and my path and my journey, and my roadmap might be tweaked a little bit, but I'm operating from this space of, I'm still trying to get where I was trying to go. And so, I think that's the biggest thing. We're operating from offense.
Yeah,
You
Coach
control
K.
the game. You decide what the game is.
Yeah. And so tell me, like, in real time, where do you feel like you're at right now? Do you feel like you're in offense, or do you feel like you're in defense?
I'm definitely in offense, but I'm not there every day. Like, I don't wake up like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if I'm keeping it real with you, I wake up some days and I'm angry. I wake up
Yeah.
some days and I don't want to get out of bed. And
Mm.
so that's why it's important for me to be in my prayer room, be in
Yeah.
my Bible, be on, my meditation practice. Make sure I get out and get air, and I get to the yoga studio and stuff like that, because that's how I stay in that space. But it's not like automatic all the time. And you never know. You might pull up social media and see something. Like I said, there's always something new. He is trying to trigger us. So every
Yeah,
day there's a new trigger. And so
that's
every
right.
day I have to reset and count on my rituals that keep me in my zone.
That's right. Thank you for sharing, Coach K. I just want to just take a look at the comments. Uh, Faceless said, I'm definitely in defense. I need the tea on how to pivot. Well, Faceless, you're in the right place. We are going to be talking about all of this in these seasons. Khadijah said, that's good. Chubby Curl said, she said, well, look who I stumbled upon on YouTube. Okay. So happy to see your faces, sisters. It's
Hey,
so good to see you as well. The frame game is litty. Oh, you talking about our glasses? They are. They are. The frame game is litty, 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 litty. And Chris Johnson said it's okay to change the route. Don't change the destination.
you better
I
speak
love
that,
that.
Chris Johnson. I
Come
know
on,
that.
Chris Johnson. You better talk. And I love that, because Coach K, what I hear you saying is mental health is important right now. Mental health is going to be, we're only going to be able to take care of our mental health by keeping our rituals and keeping ourselves looking at that North Star. So when everything is feeling unstable, right? We have our North Star. We're like, okay, we're gonna do this, and then some more information comes out, and we start shifting a little bit. Like, I'm not even sure about how everyone is feeling, but I have been feeling the most anxiety lately. Like, this is not normal for me. And I'm like, Kandice, what is going on? And it's just the things, right? Even though I'm not really taking them in, but they're indirectly happening. I've just been feeling like, oh my goodness, Kandice, if you don't get this together, then you are bound to drizown, okay? And nobody is trying to do that. So when we're talking about mental health, and feeling the stress and the burnout and even depression, right? And I know that you touched on a couple of them earlier, but what are you doing? How are we going to keep our peace of mind intact while simultaneously running a business, Coach K? What would you say about that?
Well, I think I said a lot of it before, but I think that Chubby Curls and Kalia have said that they are really being thoughtful about what they're ingesting and taking in. And so social media, it doesn't matter, TV shows, social media, that sort of stuff. But I also think that when Kim Fuller comes, she's going to speak to actual mental health services and support and ideas so that you can understand how to self-regulate during this time. So that's gonna be a good episode. Y'all gotta make sure y'all catch the episode with Khadijah Taylor and Kim Fuller and Toby, because it is everything starts in the mind. It all starts with your thoughts. And so just really, when people talk about protecting their peace, I think it's about that self-regulation and that thinking about your thoughts. But also, I think sometimes you are anxious about something when you don't feel like you have a plan. So even when you have a problem that's not going to be easy to fix, you're more anxious when you just don't know what you're going to do about it than when you are like, okay, I got sort of an emergency kit. I got a game plan, and this is what I'm going to do if this happens. And just having those alternative scenarios outlined in case your supply chain is impacted, in case some legal matters come down where you're going to lose contracts or clients. Start thinking about that stuff now. And that's kind of like that offensive discussion again, but it does contribute to giving you more peace of mind, knowing like, okay, I may not know what's coming, but I'm kind of prepared for multiple scenarios. And I have alternative sources of cash flow in mind and alternative ways to think about securing funding in mind. And so just starting to plan that stuff, alternative traffic sources, because TikTok was gone and everybody was losing their mind.
Honey.
This is a time for you to really be thinking about, like, is my website optimized? Is my email list set up to grow and be served? Do I have my email systems in place so that I can reach my own clients and nurture my own clients? I think it's really important to know that the power of the micro business is the relationship. Big businesses and big chains can't build relationships and community the way that we can with our clients. And so really making sure that you have systems in place for community, whether you're hosting a Facebook group or you're sending out a journal, a touching journal email, keeping up on things to your community, or you're reaching out and having coffees, or you're hosting any sort of activities for your community. Right now, people want to know that they have a place to go where they are seen, where they are understood, where they are safe, and where they can get through this time together. And small business owners, if you have a tribe, if you have a community, this is the time to think about being intentional about building that connection directly with them off of social media, because you don't own any of those platforms, in ways that y'all can connect and you can reach your community regardless. And then you might find that as we get through all this craziness, you have a more strong and loyal tribe that is buying more and referring more business to you as a result of the fact that you went beyond the dollar with them and really deep and spent some time to deepen the relationships with them. And so this is a time to think about client loyalty and tribe community building.
And Coach K, you're speaking from a place that you're experiencing right now. I feel like with SistahBiz, that is what you are about. Like, you are about community and making sure that we're good and that we're being fed and that we're seen and heard and loved. Actually, this is Biz Love Fest this month for SistahBiz. And I just, thank you for, not only talking the talk, but actually walking the walk. You're able to say these things because you're doing this in real time. So I just want to let our viewers know that we real time over here, baby. Okay. I just want to get into the comments really quick. Kalia said, I've decided to be Delulu for the next 4 years, not watching the news. Okay. Chubby Curl said that. Kalia said, I did a post on how to filter your feed because I'm just focused on not being left behind for the next 4 years and have to play catch up, just pushing my business forward. I love that. Books are dope said, yo, this is so good. Ain't it, girl? It's really, really good. And I'm so happy that we're here to serve in this capacity. Naomi said, protecting my peace by reminding myself and whoever can hear me when I say it loud, God's favorite daughter is always going to be good. Naomi, we might have a little bit of competition because I feel like I'm God's favorite daughter, but it's cool. Oh, okay. See, Coach K too. So I love that you guys are in this chat section. Thank you so much for being involved in the comments. I just want to say that so much of what you're saying, Coach K, is just so relevant and timely for what we have going on. And I'm just so grateful that we have this opportunity to come and, again, like I've said, have these hard conversations and really try to make it make sense for where we're at and where we're going in our business. So I know that you are, just really wanting to know from our community what they want to know, right? Or what they need to know for their business and what they have going on, that you have created a Dear Coach segment in our episodes. And I love that you've done that because we do have some submissions from business owners that say, hey, Dear Coach, what do I do about this? Dear Coach, I'm frustrated. Dear Coach. So that is what we are going to transition into our Dear Coach session. Ladies, you have been in the chat. So if you have a question for Coach K, please put it in the chat. We won't be able to get to all of them, but do know that we see your comments. If you have a Dear Coach question, the comment section is open. So I'm going to get started for a business that did bring in a question for us. And that is, for someone who is just getting started in their entrepreneurial journey, what is like some of your first steps, like those first things that you need to think about when it comes to getting started on the journey of entrepreneurship?
That's a big question. It's a lot to think about. I could go down the route of talking about like the simple stuff you do in terms of registering your business, but I feel like you can find that stuff pretty easily online. I think you need to first decide if entrepreneurship is for you and why you're going into it. Because what I see is often a lot of Black women are coming from the 9-to-5 or the corporate plantation, and they're trying to escape. And they're trying to escape into entrepreneurship, which is fine. It is an opportunity for you to like have some freedom and autonomy, but it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. You got to be in it for the long haul. You can't really buy into this thing that, oh, I'm going to be these 7-figure business in the box coaches out there and people out there kind of on social media flossing and saying they got to this and that. And it's so much more to entrepreneurship than that. You have to be in love, not just with your product or your service, but with the art and science of business. You have to be willing to learn how to be a business owner that's making that product or service, not just to make that product and service and put it for sale on the shelf. If you want something sustainable, if you want something long-term, if you want something that's going to be scalable, growable, sellable, that's something to think about. But that's something to think about. Maybe you don't. Maybe you do want just an Etsy store that brings in a few extra dollars a month and it's a side hustle. And there's nothing wrong with that if it's complementing your larger wealth plan. But if you're wanting to build something that's bigger and sustainable and that can actually carry forth a large generation of wealth and generational wealth in your family and in your life, it's a deeper body of work to build that type of business. And so you have to be willing to learn about entrepreneurship. You have to be willing to put in the time to build, but then you have to be willing to put in the time to run cycles of improvement all the time. You can't just set it and forget it. This passive income thing is not really that passive. You get some elements of passivity to it once you put in a ton of hard work to get systems in place for that. And so you do start to free up your time, but it can sometimes take years. And you got to just be real with yourself about that. Like, not everybody is going to see 6 or 7 figures in the first year or the first second year. It depends on the product. It depends on the value proposition. It depends on the market. It depends on so many things. And then you could have it all and it could just like go to shit because of the market, or the product just is no longer lean, or a competitor comes in and wipes you out because you're no longer relevant because of their product. And you have to be aware of these risks and these possibilities. Risk is something that an entrepreneur has to be ready for. You got to be ready to leap. You got to be ready to pivot. You got to be ready to change, and you got to be in that state in a long-term basis. So if you don't have a high propensity for risk, you might struggle in entrepreneurship. And that's not to say that you may not have a product that's so dope that it doesn't just, it's almost like some people will post and post and post and they won't get a ton of followers. And then they post one thing and now they're viral and now their whole world is blown up and they have a ton of followers. It's the same thing in business. It's just so unpredictable on whether you're going to, get a huge following or a slow paced growth or a fast paced growth. It really depends on all the things coming together in your formula for your business, along with the things that you don't control, like the market. And so just knowing that that's the case, there are proven methods that you can use to get results in certain markets and industries. You want to study and know those things. But that's why SistahBiz is really not about sort of like, oh, we're just going to help you get from here to here tomorrow. It's more about like, we're the place where you can come to plan, examine, analyze, and make strategic moves every single day, every single week, every single month to get to that goal you have, that revenue goal you have, that growth goal you have. I don't do the whole like I'm not going to sell you a dream. Like, you have to work for that dream, and I'm going to give you a work plan for the dream. But so yeah, I would say just get your mind right around what entrepreneurship means and what it requires, and decide what kind of entrepreneurial journey you want. Now, if you want like a side hustle, that's very different. You can have a nice hobby-like business on the side where it's just bringing in something to support your main revenue streams in your world, in income streams in your life. But if you're trying to build something big, you got to be ready to put in big time, big dedication, big risks, and show up.
Woo, Coach K, you are absolutely right. I always often hear you say, if you're not ready to get your hands dirty, then just forget it. Like, I think about like planting and planting seeds and things like that. You can't, that's not a clean job, right? You can't just, oh, let me just go get my little pack of seeds and just throw it in you have to get on your knees. You got to get in that dirt. You have to get involved in the process. And in our Facebook group, we did talk about like planting seeds and things like that. And it just, as we're on the onset of spring, that's how it feels. You got to get in that dirt, and you got to get it you got to get dirty. And that's how I feel about the work with SistahBiz. When you're in that app and you're, wanting to get here, but it's like, oh no, actually you can't get there because you got to take a couple steps back to make sure that your foundation is going to withstand, the business and how big it can get. So I love that. I love that. I do see a couple of questions. So I just wanted to see, Chubby Curl said, do you feel cold calling is an effective way to grow distribution?
Yeah, so cold calling is a way to generate leads. It could be part of your traffic game plan, how you bring traffic into the business. And my general thought on any traffic source or traffic strategy is it's not going to work the same for every type of business. And there's so many elements to what would make it effective. So one, it depends on your scenario and your situation in your business. And then two, it depends on how you execute it and how you choose to use the strategy. And so sometimes you have the right strategy, but maybe you're executing it wrong. Or sometimes you have the wrong strategy for your particular business in your market. And so cold calling can work for some people and for others no. And I know that's not the answer you really want to hear, but the answer that I have for everybody is traffic sources. You should have multiple traffic sources. You should be testing those traffic sources. You should be trying to make sure that those traffic sources do two things. They bring in traffic, and they bring in the traffic that is actually your high value customer who's going to buy from you. And everybody has to go through the process of finding the traffic sources that work and make sure that you have multiple ones. You don't want to depend on one traffic source, even if it's bringing in enough for you to meet your revenue goals. You never know if that traffic source is not going to work at some point, or going to die out, or not going to move. So you should always have anywhere between 5 and 10 really strong traffic sources that are actually bringing in. And often it's the combination of those traffic sources that gets you to your revenue goal. And so what I see often is people don't have enough traffic because they don't have enough traffic sources. They haven't taken the time to really research and find and test traffic sources till they get to the ones that work. And they may be going to traffic sources that are disconnected from their high value customers. So you haven't really thought about when you go to this traffic source, you haven't put a ton of effort into creating the perfect high value customer profile to know where that customer lives. So you're not going to go to certain areas for certain type of customers. Like you and I'm wishing I had an analogy right now, but I don't have a strong analogy of a customer that you would be looking for that wouldn't be somewhere else. But I guess maybe I could use a MAGA. You're not going to the Black Lives Matter parade to find MAGA clients, right? Ooh, that was horrible. I didn't even like how that felt saying that.
Almost threw up. It's okay.
Better one. But the point is making sure you have traffic sources that work, and that the traffic sources are tied to a very clear understanding of which customers will buy from you, because you can have a lot of traffic that's not converting, and you don't want that either. So you got to get clear on that customer. People don't want to put time into really getting clear on the customer that wants to buy. And then make sure you take the time. It might take some months or sometimes a year or so to just figure out where the traffic is at.
Woo! Listen, Chubby Curls put gems, and that's exactly what it is. You are dropping all the gems, Coach K. I wish that they would drop from the sky like a rain shower, just like SWV said, rain down on me. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. So, do you have time for one more question, Coach K?
I do. And I want to just note that Chubby Curl said something about working with distributors. I think you should definitely bring questions around that back to Coach Ashley's interview, because she is going to talk about product-based strategies. And so it'd be good to hear. And she has, actually international distribution. She's in Canada. She's in stores across the country. And so she might be able to speak more in a more detailed fashion to distributor strategy.
I love that. Absolutely. So, Chubby Curls, just know that we're going to be on here with Coach Ashley, and she's going to break it all the way down. Okay. I am going to bring up Faceless. Faceless said, "Dear Coach, I struggle with going back to corporate or being a business owner full time. I have been laid off for 1 year. This is not my first business, but it's my first service-based business. I'm not a salesy, and it looks like it got cut off. So I don't see the rest of it."
Okay. But it sounds like her question might be around like how to decide if she's going to go back to corporate or stay or be a full-time business owner.
Right.
Whew. So admittedly, I think I'm better at helping someone once they've made the decision. So I don't tend to coach people who are not sure. Because it takes so much to build a business that if you're not sure you want to be in it, like why are you putting all of that energy in time and money and into it if you don't even know if you in it to win it, regardless, if you're not fully committed, not just interested, committed. And so I think unfortunately, there's so many things about your life and your dreams and your passions that are probably having you think through, should I go back to corporate or should I be a business owner full time, that you got to really weigh and lay those things out. I always pray on things like that. I always know, I can feel intuitively if something is something I'm not supposed to be a part of. I can feel it in my gut. I kind of get a feeling, a message if I know I'm not supposed to be doing something. And then if something is for me, it does pull towards me to want to do it. And so I would ask you, like, how are you feeling intuitively? If you're praying, what is prayer saying to you? But then also, are you willing to commit to the fact that, like I said earlier, if you do the business thing, it's going to be hard. It's going to take some time. And is there a way that you can combine doing both until the business is where it needs to be, so that you're not stressed out about money? It's really hard to build a business. When you raise a child, you don't expect that child, when the child is an infant, to feed you. You have to feed it. Now, when the child grows up, the child will take care of you, maybe, likely, hopefully. But when the child is an infant, it cannot give you that. And so you really don't want to be in a position when you're building a business where it has to feed you, put food on the table, pay the bills, because then you can't really put your energy towards like building something great. Tap into the creative energy that'll allow you to really enjoy the art and science of building a business that eventually won't put that profit puzzle together. It takes a lot of work. It takes time. It takes testing. You're going to fail. You're going to fall. You're going to test. You're going to go through these data cycles until you get to a point where the business is doing what it needs to do. You have to build systems. That takes time. All that stuff takes time. So if every month you're trying to do this and you're scared about mortgage being paid or food going on the table, that's how I see a lot of women end up exiting out. So if you have the luxury of having a spouse or some other source of revenue, or you can work and build the business on the side until it can get to a place where it can take care of you, that's probably the best thing. Now, not all of us have that luxury. Some of us was like, look, they're about to kill me. I'm leaving and out of this place and I'm gonna build. And then we end up out there. I see it all the time. I want to say I was it, but I was it, but I kind of, worked my way through that. And I would say that that's a decision to make about going, like, you got to figure out the strategy, like your freedom date is what I call it. Like, set a date when you feel the business can take you full time and then work towards it, but only if you really want it. If you're trying to get to your soft space where you ain't got to do much, entrepreneurship is not that. It may become that one day where you've done so much work where now you can ease up, you can go to Bora Bora. But usually people are like, I'm working on the beach. You working on the beach? That's not, you got your laptop on the beach. Like, that's saying a lot. Like, and so I just think that I want you to be realistic about like how long it'll take, and then make your just signing up for, and then how to sustain your living while you're building it, and get yourself in a position where you could do that, and make sure you want to run your own business. You want to hire your own team. You want to pay your own taxes. You want to build your own systems. In corporate America, they often have systems, however broken they may be, they're set up, is going and do the work. In entrepreneurship, you are the builder. You are making and creating those things. You are hiring the people to create those things. You have to oversee those things. You cannot disconnect from those things. You have to lead, whether you're building an app or whether it's your accounting or your books, whether you have an accountant or whether you have a CTO, you still have to be involved. You still have to set the vision. You still have to be the leader. You still have to hold people accountable. You still have to run the business day. So you're not getting away. You're just getting to a place where work is what that work looks like.
All right. Coach K, my goodness. You left me speechless. Can we just drop some gems in the chat? Because it is just the truth. Entrepreneurship, it's no joke. And that's why we are grateful for things like the app and being in the sweet life, where we don't have to guess and try to, what do I do? Well, there is an app for that, literally, where we can come and get what we need to do the things the right way, and to really be out here in these entrepreneur streets the right way. So well, listen, we got the chat. They dropping gems, Coach K, because that was phenomenal. Okay. The best answer that I've heard when it comes to entrepreneurship. You got to be in this thing. This is your baby. Like you the baby analogy was golden. So thank you for that. Thank you for that. Whew, ladies, books are dope says she subscribed, okay? And I am glad that you did because there's so much content on this YouTube page. And if you want to take it a step further, in the app, so much information that is not going to only help us survive 2025, but thrive to through 2025 and beyond. Whew, I'm full, okay? I'm full. And I just want to just list, we are about to get out of here, ladies. It's been a beautiful, beautiful hour with you. And I just want to talk about just a couple of takeaways from today, all right? Don't get caught up in the chaos, okay? Stay informed, but don't get caught up in the chaos. Don't eat this trash for breakfast. Get your business prepared, all right? There's going to be some shifts and some new things going on. So you want to make sure that in all of that, you're still making some really strategic moves in your business. And sisters, protect your peace, okay? If we don't do that, there's no way we're going to be able to do any of the other things. So please make sure you are protecting your peace. All right. And then, I'm sorry, burnout is not an option. All right. So if you want to, we would love for you to put in your biggest takeaways in the comments because we want to hear what resonated with you. We really do. We want to hear what resonated with you. And we also want to be here to support you. Coach K has spent a lot of time and a lot of energy and effort and money, okay, into creating something just for us where we come in and we're talking the same language and we see women that look like us and we're doing the things with other Black women founders. And that is in the app. If you have not joined the SistahBiz, the suite, the app, I'm telling you, you got to get on there, ladies. This is how we're going to be able to take our businesses to the next level in the midst of such chaos, okay? So go to sistah.biz. There, you get a free 14-day trial. It's just all the things beautiful. It's going to help us to really maintain and thrive in this particular climate. I did see my girl say she subscribed to the YouTube channel, and that is what we want from you. If you got here by way of the Facebook group or however you got here, just subscribe to the channel, okay? We want to make sure that you get the notifications for next week's episode that's going to be fire. We got some more fire episodes coming in. And if you got here by way of YouTube, we want you to join the Facebook group. Like I said earlier, there's been so much amazing information and so many gems that's being dropped on a daily basis, okay? A daily basis where you can come in, be encouraged, get what you need for your business so that we can really thrive. So, Coach K, I said that. There was a little bit of teaser. Y'all know back in the 90s or in the 80s, I don't know when we used to tease that bang and you know what I'm saying? We get that comb and we tease that bang so we can have a, you know what I'm saying? Well, I did tease it earlier in the episode. And I just want to say that in January, we had a sprint, a landing page sprint, where founders were able to get their landing pages together, and not only together, but something that's going to be able to make them money, to explain what their business is, to do the things while they sleeping, okay? And that is what we were doing in January. There was a big prize that was attached to that, and that was a flight to San Diego and tickets to social media marketing world. And that was going to go out to the sister that was in these streets doing the work, showing up to the work groups in the suite. And our girl is right here on the chat. I want you guys to give it up for Khadijah Taylor of Home and Sanctuary. Woo, 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 woo. There it is. Whoop, there it is. Listen, she won because she has been working. Coach K, my girl put in the work, okay? Did she not put in the work? She put
did.
in. So we want to announce Khadijah Taylor as the winner of the face.
The landing page, the January sprint.
Yes.
So for those of you who don't know what a sprint is in SistahBiz, every month we have a work group because we have tons of different courses and work groups in the suite. But every month we choose one work group where we feel that we should all get on board this month and do the work in that work group to move our businesses forward. And in January, we wanted to make that the landing page optimization sprint because we know that before you can move forward with sending traffic to your products and services, you need an optimized sales page, product page, or home page. And so we were giving people the opportunity to get that destination page ready for their traffic and their sales funnels. And we gave them materials and we gave them tools. And SistahBiz coaches were manning the discussion thread and talking to folks who were doing the landing page work. And you were getting emails every week to walk you through the work. And so you sign up for the monthly sprint with us. This month it's for client retention, and loyalty. So if you're trying to get existing client sales and loyalty, you want to do this month's sprint. But last month it was the January sprint and it was landing page optimization.
Absolutely. Coach K, thank you so much for that. We are going to also put her landing page in the Facebook group so that you guys can see the beautiful work, so that you can, do what you need to do on that landing page. But it is an honor to be able to be a part of a sisterhood that not only teaches and reaches, but also celebrates, right? Such big milestones. So, ladies, that is our time. We will be back next Tuesday, same time, same place, for episode 2, where we're diving into tariffs, trade wars, and how to keep product-based businesses profitable in 2025. Coach K, is there anything else that you would like to say?
Subscribe to our YouTube channel, join our Facebook group, but most importantly, join our network and head into the suite and test us out. Try us out for 14 days. We are doing really good work in there to move our businesses forward. And you don't want to build your business alone. Build it with SistahBiz.
Hey, come on. Ladies, until then, keep building, keep thriving, and remember, we are in this together, sis. We'll see you later. We'll see you on Tuesday.